All right, what's up everybody? Mr. Mira here, and today we're going to actually start a video series that looks at Git, GitHub, GitHub Classroom, those things. Now I said Mr. Mira because I'm not sure if students are going to see this. Probably not, because the video series is focused more towards teachers and getting them into this workflow of GitHub, GitHub Classroom, and Git. Now this video series is just going to be the basics on having everything set up. Don't know if I'm going to do a more detailed one later, but for right now I want to get a video series out there that is basic setup for first-time users. And the video series is actually going to be focused on the tools, the what and the how of those tools, Git, GitHub, and GitHub Classroom. We think of business and we think of the golden circle, that bullseye why, that most important part of a product and why you do something. That's up for you to decide. I can't give you that. This video series isn't going to give you that. It's going to focus on those outer rings, the how and the what part of that golden circle. The other thing that you might notice here is I'm already logged into GitHub. I'm not going to show you how to make a GitHub account. I actually do a video for students that shows a GitHub account creation and that whole process. So if you are interested in seeing that, if that video is finished and edited by the time this series goes out, it will be linked in the description below, and you should also see it popping up on the top right corner sometime right about now. But what we are going to do in this video in particular is we're going to look at where to apply for an education discount and is it even needed anymore, and then we're also going to look at how to create our first organization. Now I say, is that education discount even needed anymore, because of this thing right here on the side that says GitHub is now free for teams. So we'll talk about that. I have something blurred out here. That's just somebody that followed me. I didn't get their permission if they should be shown in the video or something, so it's just easier to blur them out. So I'm going to switch to organizations before, so when I come back to this tab, I don't have to do any more editing on that screen. Let's switch over now and look at that first goal of where do you apply for the education discount. You just go to education.github.com. And when you're there, click on teachers here, and then you're going to click on benefits for teachers. And actually, let me turn off my styling so it actually looks a little nicer. Your page might not look like this. I was already approved back in April, so it might look more like this, or it might have some other page. I'm not really sure, unfortunately, for it. I guess I could have logged into a dummy account, but didn't think about that. Already recording, maybe next time. And then you make your selection here. You fill out all the information that they need. This middle section here is email address. Use your school provided email. If you try to use a personal one, you're going to get rejected right away. So use a school provided one. And then over here, you can see all the requests for organizations that I have asked to get applied for the education discount. This top one's actually a glitch, so it didn't actually get rejected. You can ignore that. I've never had them not approve an organization once my account was approved. I led off that part by saying, do you even need to do this anymore? Because of that free for teams. So let's go look at what that is. So back in April, like shortly around that time that my account was approved and all those organizations got approved, they announced that the free tier of GitHub would have unlimited private repositories, which is huge. That's a big deal. That was the main points of why I started applying for education discounts with GitHub through GitHub Education when I started using the tools, because only the team tier and above had unlimited private repositories, which was a big deal when I wanted students to work on code privately in the classroom. Now that the free tier has that, you might not need to get upgraded to team. So what happens when you get the education discount and it gets applied to an organization, it's actually the team tier that you get. So the big differences, if we scroll down, the big differences are actually these two, the 2,000 versus 3,000 and the 500 versus 2 gigs. Those are the two biggest differences. And actually only the 2 and 3 are the real focal points. We can scroll down here. I'm not going to go through all the differences, not even really going to go through most of them. The 2,000 and 3,000 is a big difference if you're going to use the auto grading feature on GitHub Classroom. And 2,000 is a massive amount of minutes. I don't see most people hitting that in a high school setting in a month. So 3,000 is more than enough. 2,000 is probably more than enough. The GitHub packages, I don't see a lot of free high school classes, CSA and stuff like that, really focusing on that. Maybe some higher end classes or some specially focused classes in high school might care about that. Protected branches, all the stuff that says public repositories, again, I don't see high school courses, intro, CSA, that being a big deal. The public repository limitation, because things like code review, pull request, you still get on privates. Same thing down here when we have issues, project board, milestones, those are a big deal, private repositories. So as long as you get those on private repositories, free still seems like a good option if you don't want to go through the application process, which is not very difficult, or if you get denied. Free is a very good deal now, where before you were kind of bottlenecked and you had to do everything with public repositories, which could be a downside, which is why you wanted the team upgrade. upgrade. So how do we create an organization? Now you can do it from this page. If you happen to go to github.com/pricing to kind of see those differences for yourself, you can do that. I'm going to actually switch back to the first page, which was I was logged into my GitHub account. I clicked on my icon. I clicked my organizations, your organizations, and I'm going to click new up here, and I'm going to select free. I recommend, even if you're approved to have education discounts applied to your organizations, start with free, because then you go and ask for those specific organizations to get applied the discount. If you start with team, it's going to ask you for payment as you go through this process. So start with free, join for free, give it a name. We'll go DE. Let's do demo. I don't know, tut. Contact email, I put whatever email is associated with the GitHub account that I'm logged in with. And then I do my personal account, set up the organization. I don't put any students in on this step. If you had students, you could do that already. But if you watch the creating a GitHub account, actually at the end of there, I show how I get student information to put into here at a later time. So I'm going to skip, going to hit submit on that. And that's it, right? So we have our repository, or we have our organization set up ready for repositories, I should say. And we're going to stop this video here. Next video, let's look at how do we get organizations, the upgraded team account, if you're interested in that. And then let's also look at how do we set up GitHub Classroom to be linked to one of our organizations that we create. So until next time, everybody have a week.